I'm Cheryl Lyon with the Upper Sandusky Community Library with What's Cooking, and May is our tea month. But first we're going to tell you about our summer reading program that starts June 1st and will go through July 31st. So I hope you'll join us. This is for kids, adults, teens, and anyone in between. So we hope that you will join us. Also, we're going to do the big event down at the park. So I hope you'll join us. This is going to be on June 17th. It'll start at 6 o'clock. So what we're going to do is I will be doing a What's Cooking program. Pack your picnic basket. What are you going to put in it? I will demonstrate 3 different items, and yes, you'll get samples. Also, the big thing, Jeopardy! So we'll be playing that down there after I do my cooking show until we have enough games played that everyone enjoys themselves. So I really hope you'll join us for our big event, June the 17th, down at Harrison Smith Park. Okay, so what are we making today for our tea? Well, I brought in some samples of 3 things. We're going to make 1. So tea parties are generally, or mother-daughter teas, or can be held in May, which we've done up here before. So I went through a bunch of recipes, and I came up with, they're called Scottish oatmeal scones. So scones aren't as sweet as your donuts would be or your muffins. So you're going to wonder why we don't put as much sugar in them. But I'll show you what it looks like when we're done baking them, because I won't be baking today. But this is what our scones will look like. Basically, you could put them in any shapes, and I'll show you how to do that later. But I also made one of our favorites. It is the banana chocolate chip bread. A quick bread would be very nice for your tea party. Also, I made this up the other day just to try it, and these are very good. It's an oatmeal cake with your brown sugar frosting. So this is the sugar aspect of what you could take to a tea party. You could do cucumber sandwiches or anything that would be just small and dainty. So today we're going to do our Scottish oatmeal scones. Of course, we know that the Scottish are the English people, and I think I remember when I was in Ireland that they had even scone kits, so they're really popular there too. So we're going to start with our dry ingredients. I went ahead and did the melting of the butter ahead because you don't want to add milk, especially eggs, to hot butter. So it's been sitting out for a couple minutes anyway. So we're going to go ahead and put our dry ingredients together, which most of them I've already pre-measured. So you're going to have your 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour and our 1 1/4 cup of quick oats. Don't use the rolled. They won't work in these. So use your quick oats. Add those to the dry flour. Next, only 1/4 cup of sugar. So they're not as sweet. Okay, so we'll add that to that. There's many different kinds of scones on the market. The one reason I like these is because they do have oatmeal and raisins, so it makes them a little healthier. I've got other versions of ones with chocolate chips in them that are wonderful, or cinnamon chips, but I kind of look at these as maybe a little healthier than some. Okay, so we have a tablespoon of baking powder. Sounds like a lot, but you need that for them to raise. So there's our baking powder. Now this recipe is the only one I know of scones that actually has the cream of tartar. Forgot my measuring spoon, so we're going to use this, which should be pretty darn equal. 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar. And we're not going to measure it over there, so in case I boo-boo and make it come out a little bit faster than what it should. So it's going to be close enough, but at home use your real teaspoon. So there's our cream of tartar. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. It's here somewhere. Okay, the salt is not here, so we will skip the salt. And 1/2 cup of raisins or currants. So we're going to use raisins in this recipe. Actually, when I bake, I rarely use salt anyway. I usually do in here, but for some reason, I do not think I brought it. So we're going to go ahead and add our raisins to this. Now, here is our pre-melted butter, which was 2/3 cup, and that is real butter. So it is cooled down enough. We're going to add our 1/3 cup of milk to it and 1 egg. And always use a liquid measuring cup for your liquids. Use the dry measuring cups for your dry ingredients. So it's 1/3 cup What I like about this measuring cup is you can actually see the markings on the inside, which is really nice. So that is added to your milk. And then we're going to add our egg. I always think it's smart with eggs to put them in a container first. Usually you don't find any foreign substances in them, but if they're farm fresh, sometimes you can. So here's our egg. We're going to add that to our milk. We're going to switch it here and stir this up so you don't want your egg yolk and not mixed up in there, so we're going to do that real fast here. We're going to mix our ingredients. Remember, you don't want to over mix. They'll get too dry. Kind of like when you're making a sugar cookie dough. I'll show you how I'll use my breadboard here. But it looks like it's mixed up pretty good. We've got some egg yolk in there. We don't want that sitting in there and getting in those. So, and if you don't want the raisins, use currants, or if you don't want raisins, you can always add dried cranberries. Okay, so I think it looks like it's mixed up pretty good, so we're going to add that together with that. It's going to be just about right. Now I'm going to flour the breadboard. The nice thing about these is you don't need a rolling pin, so you won't have that to clean up. But see, it's going to be a little sticky. You can kind of see what it looks like, and you don't want to over mix it. So we're going to use our flour here to all we're going to do is spread it out. Just hope I brought enough flour. Spread it out with our hands. I think what we'll do is we're going to use half of it here to show you. I'll just do a little bit of it here. These are very, very simple. And of course we're going to spray our cookie sheet. I'm only going to do about half here. I'm going to spray that. These are baked at a high temperature. Now it says 425 on your recipe, but I prefer not to use over 400 degrees. You're only going to bake them till they're light brown, 12 to 15 minutes. So what I'm going to show you here is how you work the flour into it so it isn't real sticky. And without a rolling pin, that's the best way to do it, is just roll it out with your fingers. And then you can cut them in any shapes that you want. When I first started making these, I made it exactly in like a pizza. But then I found out some of the pieces were too big, because remember, they're going to spread, they're going to get a little bit bigger. So we're gonna make some fun shapes. This one will be like that. They will do like that. That way, if someone wants a smaller one, you're gonna have a smaller one. Cut that like that. Make sure you preheat your oven, otherwise they're not gonna bake just right. So, just to kind of show you here. That's like your smaller one. We'll stick it on your cookie sheet. Here's one that's just a rectangle. It's whatever fun shapes you want to make. And here's a little of extra dough. We're just going to stick him on top of here. So it's whatever you want to make. If you want to make a lot smaller, you could do that. And all you do is put them on your cookie sheet here. This is making a lot more than I thought it'd make, because this is only half the dough. So you can see that all we're going to do is bake them on your top shelf for 8 to 10 minutes until they're nice and light brown, just like this. And I'll tell you what's really good is eating them right out of the oven with a dab of butter on top. They are absolutely delicious. They'll keep a day or two at room temperature, but they're much better right out of the oven. So those are called our Scottish oat scones. I hope you'll try these at home, because they are a lot of fun and they're very good for breakfast or a little snack. So that's what we have for May. So don't forget, we're going down to the park on June 17th. Our rain date will be on Saturday, and you can watch me make some of these goodies, which is going to be one salad. I'm going to make one sandwich and one dessert, And yes, you get to sample them. So I hope you join us down there. Thank you for watching.